back to another impactful session with me, Grace Cave, still coming to you live from the Garmin Information Center studios in Windhoek. Be a part of this discussion by joining us on our social media pages, Facebook at Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, YouTube at MICT Namibia. In this session, we are focusing on Namibia hosting the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization, abbreviated as CTBTO, Integrated Field Exercise in October 2026. To give it more context, Cabinet has authorized the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy and Ministry of International Relations and Trade, in collaboration with the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization, which is the CTBTO, to host the Integrated Field Exercise, IFE abbreviation, in Swakopmund, Namibia in October 2026. In doing so, Namibia has made history as the first African nation selected to host this exercise. This is the CTBTO's largest and most complex operation and exercise that tests the readiness of the on-site inspection mechanism that will verify compliance once the treaty enters into the force. CTBTO is mandated to promote the treaty and to build up the verification regime and ensure that it is operational by the time the treaty enters force. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty bans nuclear explosions. The verification regime of the CTBT is designed to detect any nuclear explosion conducted on Earth, underground, underwater, and in the atmosphere. Now, to unpack this, we are joined in studio by, on my immediate left, Mr. Bufelo Lushetile, the Chair Interministerial Committee of the IFE of 2026 at the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Mr. Lushetile, good morning and welcome to our studios.
Good morning, thank you so much.
We are joined by Ms. Magdalena Schipicke in the middle, who is the Foreign Relations Officer at the Ministry of International Relations and Trade. Ms. Schipicke, good morning and welcome to our studios.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
On my far left is Dr. Norton Titus, the diplomat at the Namibia Embassy in Austria on nuclear matters. Dr. Titus, good morning and welcome to the Garmin Information Center studios.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Now, to start our discussion, Dr. Titus, could you please explain what the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization is and how Namibia fits into or contributes to its mandate and activities?
Thank you very much. Thank you for the question. It's a good place to start. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty was opened for signature in 1996. It started actually in 1945 when we had the first nuclear bombs dropped in Japan. After that, many countries wanted to also have nuclear weapons. Mm-hmm. And in the 1950s and 60s, a way of developing nuclear weapons was to also engineer and test them. Mm-hmm. So over time, people started getting concerned because it was just certain countries that were building these weapons and testing them. And people were asking questions, well, with these explosions going on, is it good for the environment? The other side of the coin was, why are we chasing after nuclear weapons? Mm-hmm. So we all know the Non-Proliferation Treaty, the NPT, mm-hmm. but the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty is actually older because people have started to decide, they wanted these explosions to stop, and that way it helps in preserving the environment, mm-hmm. and also stems people from racing after nuclear weapons. Okay. And how do we fit into this? Well, you know that we are a big exporter of uranium, and uranium is the most controlled mineral in the world. Mm-hmm. There is no other mineral that is as controlled as uranium. Mm-hmm. And Namibia being the third largest exporter of uranium, we want our uranium just to be used for peaceful purposes. So therefore we are very much behind these type of treaties that try to avoid uranium being used for manufacturing and developing of nuclear weapons, and for uranium only to be used for peaceful purposes. So therefore the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty bans all explosions, and in that way, for example, scientists like ourselves who like testing everything, a big part gets cut out and you can't test your new designs.
Okay. Staying with you, Doctor, how is the treaty compliance, and has treaty entered into force?
Sadly, the treaty has not entered into force, even though it opened 30 years ago for signature. But there is a moratorium on nuclear explosions, and 187 countries have signed the treaty, which means that they support the moratorium. And in the way how we monitor compliance at the moment, there are more than 300 stations all over the world, and including in Namibia, that monitors the Earth, that monitors the atmosphere to detect any kind of explosions that take place. Whether they are nuclear or not, that's something that happens with on-site inspections. But more than 300 stations that measure seismics, that measure very faint sounds in the atmosphere, that sniffs for radioactivity in the atmosphere. These are stations located, and in that way we are able to detect any explosion that takes place in the world. And then we have also that information is then analyzed, and we present data to verify whether the countries are complying to this treaty.
Thank you for those insights, Doctor. Ms. Shipiki, what does it mean for Namibia and Africa to host the CTBTO integrated field exercise for the first time?
This is actually one of the greatest opportunities for us as a country. It's a great opportunity for Namibia, of course, but also for the Global South generally, and for developing countries. And I think maybe just to supplement to what Dr. Titus has said in terms of how Namibia fits into and contributes to the mandate of the CTBTO, Dr. Titus is currently at our permanent mission in Vienna, Austria. And through the years of being present in Vienna, Austria at the United Nations, Namibia also served as the chair of the preparatory committee, which is the highest decision-making body of the organization. So that's quite a very high-level, prestigious position for us as Namibia to have held. And we also served as the chair of Working Group A of the organization, which is responsible for administrative issues, legal and budgetary. So in that field, I think to complement what Doctor said, I think Namibia has done tremendous work in the contribution and the lobbying for the entry into force of the organization and the treaty at large. Speaking to my question specifically, I think it's also very important for us to appreciate why we were chosen. It has been a very, very long process and a very, very long consultative process, both domestically and with the CTBTO. And these deliberations and consultations were quite intense, to be honest. And based on the outcome of these consultations, Cabinet approved Namibia to host this event. And it's a reflection that this is testament to Namibia's leading role in disarmament, non-proliferation, global peace, security, something that is very clear in our constitution. It is a foreign policy priority. So Namibia hosting this event shows that we are no longer just sitting on the margins of non-proliferation and disarmament. You may also recall that we are signatory to the NPT, as Dr. Titus has also mentioned, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, and we remain very active. We have also decided as a government that we wish to join the Nuclear Suppliers Group. This is a organization or an institution that monitors the export control regimes of uranium. And it shows that Namibia is a responsible partner in terms of monitoring and ensuring that our uranium, the source material for nuclear equipment and nuclear peaceful users, we take it very seriously because we would not want to have a situation where this material is ending up in the wrong hands. So I think it's also important to emphasize on the fact that this is a very, very complex exercise, the IFE, and I think it's confidence within the world. Other member states have shown and are reflective of confidence in Namibia to be able to undertake such a massive, very important exercise. So I think as Namibians, we should be very proud and we should be very honored to be hosting this. We will have more than 250 experts and high-level dignitaries coming to Namibia for this specific event next year. Generally, I think for the continent, as we know that Africa is one of the continents where we have declared through the Pelindaba Treaty that we will not have any nuclear weapons on the continent. This is a decision taken many, many decades ago. And I think it also speaks to us as a continent focusing on peaceful users of nuclear energy. A lot of countries on the continent have indicated that they wish to invest in nuclear energy. So in a nutshell, those are some of the elements why it's such an honor and why it's so important for us as Namibia to host this, for development and for prosperity at large for us as a country, but also as a continent. Yes.
Okay. Ms. Chipike, that's a great opportunity for Namibia, and we are very proud indeed. Dr. Titus, in simple terms, what is the integrated field exercise and why is it important?
There's always in the 50s, there was the saying, trust but verify. So the integrated field exercise simply means that we will have inspectors that try to collect physical evidence on whether a nuclear explosion was conducted or not. This is why it's also called the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. It's the only treaty that takes inspectors from around the world and trains them to read the signs and the signals and see within everything whether a country has got the capability to conduct a nuclear explosion, and also go actually to that country and collect the appropriate evidence to definitively prove that a nuclear explosion was undertaken. But of course, you need to train for this and you need to test for this. So the IFE is what they call it's actually a verification of the training methods, whether the inspectors have been trained properly, whether the equipment is working properly, whether the treaty addresses all the inspection details. And the CTBT is the only organization that does this type of exercise. So in simple terms, it's just inspectors who have been trained being tested whether those things that they've learned and the equipment that they've learned to use can actually work in future when the treaty has entered into force.
Okay. Mr. Lushetile, why was Namibia chosen to host, and what key strengths made us the preferred country?
Thank you. Namibia was chosen mainly because of the geological setting of the country, especially in the exercise area, is quite favorable to conduct this type of exercises. And then secondly, I think we have got a great infrastructure So we would like to conduct this type of exercises where you are close to an international airport like we have in Walvis Bay, and then where we have got the port, because we need this infrastructure to transport equipment, because we are talking about 100 tons of equipment that are coming into the country during that period. The road infrastructures, I think we have got one of the best road infrastructure in the country, and we have got plenty of accommodation to accommodate so many people that are coming. Tourism sector will also benefit. We have got catering services, and well as car hire services that can accommodate the magnitude of this exercise. I think thirdly, we are a safe and peaceful country. I think that's why it's also preferred. I think my other two colleagues, they also talked about our work with the city BTO, that we have a very good history in terms of our commitment to the treaty. So, and then that puts up quite very highly, to be regarded as highly as a supporter of the treaty. So that's the reason why we were chosen.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Titus, how will this exercise work in Erongo region, and what should the public know about safety and the fictional scenario?
Thank you for the question. Yes, it's what Mr. Piki talked about, and the intense negotiations, or the consultation, because it's just an exercise. It's a fictional scenario that will be played. So people must just understand there are no explosions taking place. Places won't be contaminated or things like that. But because like Mr. Lushutile said, because our geology is so unique, in fact, I call it Namibia, the laboratory of geology. So a lot of students come here to just see the geology because they are only in textbooks. And in this case, the setting is just so unique that an exercise confuses the inspectors quite easily, rather than having to physically conduct, such explosions. And then, as Mr. Lushutile also said, that administrative infrastructure is really important. It's not just about the location, but also the strong administrative infrastructure, like hotels, like logistics, like communications, like medical facilities that support such an exercise. So that's how that whole infrastructure will be engaged in the Erongo region for this exercise.
Mr. Lushutile, can you assure the public that no nuclear, chemical or explosive activities will take place?
Yes, I think Ms. Piggs talked about how intense the negotiation were, in terms of us hosting this exercise. So there is a host agreement that we are working on, and then we have to make sure that all the activities that are going to take place in the country or in the exercise area is in accordance with our national laws and regulations. So we can assure the public that we'll put in clauses in the host country agreement that there shouldn't be any nuclear explosions. So in any way, during these exercises, there are no nuclear explosions that are usually takes place. So the main emphasis is usually just to make sure that the on-site inspectors can follow the procedures, or can they use the equipment that are available in case the real explosion, nuclear explosion takes place. And then they also check at the procedures, and they also check at the response time of the OSI inspectors, so that they can go back and reevaluate those procedures in order to make the response rate much higher and make better equipment that can probably detect a new explosion much better. Thank you.
Viewers and listeners, if you've just tuned in, we are focusing on Namibia hosting the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization Integrated Field Exercise in October 26. Please do join us on our social media pages, Facebook at Ministry of Information and Communication Technology and YouTube at MICT Namibia. Monsieur Piquet, what economic or development benefits will this bring, especially for Irongo and local businesses in the area?
Yeah, thank you. As both Dr. Titus and Mr. Lushitile has said, it's a huge undertaking, this exercise. We are looking at, us and the CTBTO are looking at about 8 million euros for the whole exercise. So that means that a lot of the funds, the resources will be spent in Namibia. Of course, it's important to remember that all member states to the CTBTO also pay their assist contributions. And Namibia always makes sure that we pay on time and in full. So a little bit of that 8 million will probably be our contributions that we contribute anyway. But yeah, it's a great injection to the economy, especially for the Irongo region, since the exercise will be taking place there.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to also comment on the level of our tourism industry and having confidence in, quality accommodation. We have some of the finest hotels, bed and breakfasts and such. So for these 250 people that will be ascending in Namibia, rest assured that the funding or the money for this exercise will go into a large part of the economy generally, but also for Swakopmund. And the CTBTO team have been here a couple of times, and they are quite pleased with what Namibia has to offer. So, yeah, I think we can really be proud in terms of the financial injection that we will be receiving as we prepare, leading up to the preparation and for the actual exercise. Yeah.
Great to note. Mr. Lushitile, how will Namibian experts work with the CTBTO team, and what skills or capacity will they gain or us gain as a nation?
Okay, thank you. I think part of the Namibian experts already, they are part of the scenario team. So the scenario team is the team that develops, like the examiners, how the scenario is going to be, what will be the story, so that the OS inspectors can follow up on that story. So that's one. And secondly, we already have Namibian trained OSI inspectors, so they are also going to take part in this exercise as part of the exercise. So they are going to gain quite a lot. No, they have done this before in the past in other countries where this exercise was hosted, but this will be a refresher course for them also in order to continue contributing meaningfully to the CTBTO matters. Secondly, we have also provided, as part of the scenario team, we have provided joint information data of the area of interest. And secondly, we also give guidance in terms of what to expect, because we know the country so well. So it's better when it comes from our side, and then we give that type of expertise. And also part of the committee members that they have different expertise as well. So they give guidance to the CTBTO during this planning and coordination of this integrated field exercise, so that all fields are covered. In terms of capacity building, I mean, especially that there will be a lot of international delegates coming. I mean, we have got a lot of networking that we can do, especially in the field of maths, engineering, and science, as well as political science and international affairs as well. So this will be a great opportunity for us and Namibians to interact with this international expertise, so that we can gain more knowledge on or collaborate in any areas of mutual interest. Thank you.
Dr. Titus, would you like to add?
Yes, I would like to add. I think this is an excellent opportunity also for Namibians to gain confidence in the skills that are already in the country. So Namibia, for example, is chairing the committee that writes the procedures for on-site inspections. So we are at the forefront of developing, saying, how should these inspections take place? That's our expertise going in there. We are helping with how do we manage IMS stations or international monitoring stations. We have a huge influence in the processes and procedures that we use at our Chumep station, and we share with the international community our best practices. We have also been pretty much around the world explaining how we use the international monitoring data for our internal needs, whether that is monitoring for earthquakes here, whether that is looking for explosions taking place in the country. We've presented at numerous conferences some of our results. So it gives an opportunity for us also to demonstrate the existing skills and capabilities within the country, and that this is also at the international level. And like Mr. Lushatili said, there will be many, already there have been quite a few institutions that have asked to partner with us, whether that is for oil and gas, whether that is on nuclear monitoring, whether that is for verification, already in this very short period of time, for further skills development and training.
Okay, Ms. Shipeke, how does hosting this exercise strengthen Namibia's role in nuclear non-proliferation and global security? Pardon me.
Thanks again. I think this question actually ties in very well with what Dr. Titus just said. So I don't think I'll have much to say, but maybe just to supplement in terms of us appreciating the journey that Namibia has taken in international disarmament and non-proliferation. Especially if we look at the role women has played in this area. As I previously mentioned that Namibia chaired the PrepCom, also the Working Group A chairman. And I remember during the chairmanship of the PrepCom, the then ambassador, who's our current minister, emphasized on developing countries, and especially women, not having access to a very, very male-dominated sector.
Yes.
Nuclear energy, nuclear weapons, non-proliferation, it has always been a male-dominated area. And I think over the years, we can all agree that we've taken and we've made great strides in representation by women in non-proliferation. And as Doctor said, I think their ministry sent regular females to meetings of the CTBTO, very, very technical stuff. So I think in addition to strengthening, we should really appreciate that we have done a lot in the past. I think I can also maybe emphasize on the fact that, as I previously mentioned, that yes, indeed, this is for the Global South. So this exercise, and Namibia hosting it, it's not just for us as Namibia, it is for all of Africa.
Yes.
And all the developing countries. So I think it's very important that we keep underscoring that and not take it lightly that this is a small thing. It's really one of those historic moments for us as a country. And maybe just to touch again on the responsibility that we have as a country in terms of the source material, to make sure that everything, the material is handled with care, and it is only used for peaceful purposes. So yeah, just to reassert what Dr. Titus has said. Yeah.
Mr. Lushatile, as we are nearing the end of our conversation, what is the Interministerial Committee's role in coordinating logistics, security, and communication in this exercise?
Okay, thank you. The Interministerial Committee is made out of 12 institutions. Its role really is just to coordinate and organize the IFE 26 together with the CTBTO. But there are some key, responsibilities that I'm going to mention here. One is to finalize the host country agreement. So that's the agreement between Namibia as a state and CTBTO, so that we can outline how the exercise is going to take place, as well as the activities that we are going to permit in the exercise area. And secondly, we are supposed to to provide or facilitate access to the inspectors during the exercise area, before and during the exercise area. And thirdly, we are supposed to make sure that we have a communication strategy or a plan, so that we really make sure that we provide plan before and during the exercise. So we provide that timely and proactively, so that if there's any question from the public, then we are available for any questions. I think the fourth matter is to also provide logistical services. We need to facilitate, there'll be equipment that are coming, so we need to facilitate the importing of those equipment and also re-exporting of those equipment, together with NAMRA. I think in a nutshell, that's what mainly that we are supposed to do. Yeah.
Okay, my last question goes to Ms. Chipiki. How will hosting this exercise boost Africa's influence in global verification and nuclear test detection efforts?
I think based on what we have already said, a lot of that has also been answered. But I want to bring in the African Union role more to highlight it. As we know, we have AFCON, which is the African Union, or the continent's Commission on Nuclear Energy. Namibia has served on this body, and I believe Dr. Titus was the last commissioner who served on that commission, and we are currently in the process of electing new leadership for the commission. So Africa's role has always been very instrumental, primarily because the source material, a lot of countries, there's quite a few countries who mine uranium, not at the level of Namibia, of course, but they are there. And we have many IMS stations across the continent. So I think as a continent, we have always contributed to the work of the organization in terms of supplementing verification, the verification regime of the CTBTO. And maybe also just to remind again, we have the Pelindaba Treaty that is Africa's commitment and due diligence, I suppose, to ensuring that no nuclear weapons are ever to be found on this continent of ours. And maybe, again, just to highlight our leadership role in the area of non-proliferation as Namibia and disarmament, whether it is in Geneva, we've had many leadership positions in Geneva through our ambassadors at the mission, whether it is New York also with the First Committee. We have had many leadership roles at the United Nations, which is the political capital of international global peace and security. And of course, at SADC and the African Union, we chaired the peace and security last year. So I think as a country and as a continent, we've contributed greatly to the verification regime and to non-proliferation, but also to international peace and security.
Okay. Yeah. Dr. Titus?
Thank you. I think this is a really central question, and like Ms. Chipiki said, for the continent, it is massive because there is a thing about nuclear disarmament, right? So we have countries, we have now 5 recognized countries with nuclear weapons. So when those countries say, okay, we're going to give up our nuclear weapons, who's going to verify that they've actually done that? So there is, in fact, last month in the United Nations General Assembly, there was a resolution passed on nuclear disarmament verification. And exercises such as this puts Africa and Namibia at the forefront of developing those kind of procedures on nuclear disarmament. There is also something called like small arms disarmament, but that's why nuclear is going silent. And we should not let that happen because it still remains a threat to the world. It still remains a threat to economic growth and prosperity, global prosperity. And we should urge those countries with nuclear weapons to give them up. And who's going to verify? We need to build the capability, and Africa is playing a leading role, could play a leading role in developing those capabilities of nuclear disarmament verification. So I think it's Namibia not being scared anymore or behind the scenes anymore, but really stepping to the forefront as a responsible supplier.
Okay, we have come to the end of our discussion. Any final remarks on this important exercise? Mr. Lushitile, I'll start with you.
Yes, yeah. I would like to say we are, as a country, we are very excited about hosting this exercise. It's been quite a lot of effort put in order to make sure that everything goes according to plan. And we are hopefully that the public can always have any questions to us so that we can take note of if there's any clarity that needs to be done, then we'll do that. We are hopeful as well that we'll be communicating continuously on this platform with regards to the progress that we have done so far in terms of preparation for this exercise. Thank you.
Ms. Chipiki?
Final words would just be to say that, of course, we are beyond excited. Again, it is a great honor. It is a privilege for Namibia to host this exercise. It goes a long way for us as a continent. It's also very, it's good to know that others have confidence in our country. So yes, we are here to prepare and to make sure that the task that we have been mandated by the leadership is undertaken smoothly and successfully. Erongo region should start gearing up.
Yes.
October is not very far.
Oh, yes.
So it's an honor and it's a great opportunity for Namibia. Thank you.
Dr. Titus?
Yes, there's two elements that I just quickly want to highlight. The first is obviously a personal one because I think that we speak too little about nuclear matters. So it's a great opportunity for nuclear scientists like myself to talk about this field, to have the country start talking about, nuclear weapons, to talk about peaceful uses of nuclear energy, so that we can educate the public, that we can have open debates on this matter. And then the second thing is, I'm also very proud of my government having taken this decision because it gives a great opportunity for us to present Namibia globally, not just as tourists, but also as technically capable and able to host such a big and complex exercise. So I'm really very proud and happy that we are hosting this exercise. Thanks.
Thank you so much, my studio guest. Thank you for coming and giving us more details on this important exercise that the country will be hosting next year in October.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Namibia, indeed, we are proud. Viewers and listeners, this concludes our broadcast for today. From us, it's goodbye.